Good morning, everybody. What a lovely morning it is here at camp. Completely lost track of what day it is, so I'm not even going to try and tell you that. But we had the most peaceful and enjoyable night of camping yet here at Merlinley. That's what Jess and I said, like, as magic as our camp was at Ningaloo, there was just something so peaceful and tranquil and enjoyable about camp here last night. There was just the noises of the bush. We were able just to sit and chill and chat, watch the stars, enjoy the sounds of the bush, and it was just awesome. Plan is now this morning just to take in a few more minutes of sunrise and enjoy it. Get on to doing a bit of brekkie and packing up, and we sort of want to semi-early start, not an early start, but we don't want to waste too much time. We want to get on with the day, get stuck into the track, and then if we have any spare time, it'll be at camp this afternoon. We can run you through, Jess and I both want to run you through a few bits and pieces on the trailer, start sharing our thoughts on it, and go from there. Anyway, I think I'll get a cup of tea on the go and some brekkie.
The drive out from Ningaloo Station is absolutely spectacular. I'm very glad we decided to camp here last night. Otherwise, A, we would have missed out on visiting Ningaloo, and B, we would have missed out on all these stunning views. The views out over the breakaways, it is something else. Really, really worthwhile checking out. Before this trip, we got our HF up and operational, so it's pretty prudent. It's a good idea when you go remote like we are. I mean, we are very remote on our own, to have some form of lifeline or communication link in the event of emergency. I'm not going to go into all the juicy details of cost and everything in this episode or in this video, but yeah, I'll do a video in future comparing probably HFs to sat phones and spots and personal locator beacons and stuff as well. So yeah, there you go. We'll see you in about 3 minutes when it's my turn to jump on the radio.
On channel 5, your station in. Can you call the bit you wish to log in, please? Go ahead now, over.
Mobile 55902, over.
55902, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning Perth base, thank you for the coverage. We are crossing over from the east side of the Kennedy Ranges to the west on the loop track today. Over.
Yeah, roger, mate. No worries, Graham. Got you there, mate. That should be a good little trip. Over.
Yeah, thank you for that. We're looking forward to it. Weather up here is fantastic at the moment. Thank you for all the other callers checking in this morning. It was good to hear them all come in. Over.
Yeah, lucky, mate. I'm not exactly sure where that track is. Can you give me a bit more information on it? Over.
Yeah, it goes from Mount Sandyman Station, which is in the northeastern corner of the Kennedys. It crosses over the top towards Marta Thurner and then comes down the western side and crosses over the Gascoyne River, intersects the Carnarvon-Gascoyne Junction Road. Over.
I'm not familiar with the track, but I know the area you're now working in. Yeah, nice country up through there. Anyway, stay safe, Graham, and enjoy your trip, mate. I'll talk to you tomorrow, wherever you might be. If you call in on 5 tomorrow, that'd be great, mate. Over.
Yeah, no worries, mate. We'll check in again this Arvo, and yeah, in the coming few days we're moving quite often, so I guess it pays to check in more often. Anyway, we'll jump to the side, let someone else check in. 5592 out.
Thanks for your call.
Oh, easy as that, guys. So, I was listening to Channel 2 and it was sounding really bad. And the last few days at Ningaloo, which is only sort of, you know, in the grand scheme of things, not far up the road, we were using Channel 5. So I waited to the Channel 5 slot. It was a lot better. I obviously had no issues going through to Perth. So we're going over 1,000 Ks from the Kennedys. So yeah, all good. Checked in. We've let them know our plan. And this afternoon the check-in time's from about 4:30 onwards. So again, if we'll let the base know where we are at 4:30, and if we're at camp or if we've got a little bit to go and all of that. So all good.
But yeah, good copy on him and good copy on you. Over.
Well, we've gotten through the sort of more technical forward driving side of things, up onto the top of the range here. We're just watching a bird of prey fly around there, and he kept coming in and out of the tree here. He's got a nest there as well, so it looks like a kite or like a falcon, not a big wedge tail. It's not that big, but yeah, Jess is trying to get a few shots of him on the big camera, and I just thought I'd stroll pull over this way and have a chat to you guys. I'll show you the view. I wish I could throw my drone up here and capture the view, but if there's a bird of prey with a nest here, it's like 100% guarantee he's going to go for the drone. I don't want to lose it just yet, so sorry guys, you'll have to miss out on that view, but I'm sure we'll get another one later on.
Well, if you're enjoying following us on the trip, make sure you go down there, smash that subscribe button so that you are aware of when all the other episodes come out. They will be coming out fortnightly just like all our others. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up and show your support for the channel.
Well, we just stopped in at White Stacks, and yeah, that was a pretty amazing view.
Beautiful.
Really cool. I tell you, if you're up here at the Kennedys, whilst the gorges on the eastern side are pretty popular and they are worth checking out, definitely try and allocate the time if you've got a four-wheel drive to drive the loop track. We haven't come across anything too concerning or difficult to do, so you know, I wouldn't be too worried. I'd probably want some suspension and tyres maybe just to be careful, but it doesn't need to be anything over the top. But I'd definitely be coming in to do the loop track because it's proven to be pretty special already, at least in my opinion.
One of the things that makes the Kennedy Ranges so spectacular and so unique is how the landscape changes. You go from these stunning gorges and cliffs on one side to this spinifex sand dune style desert section over the top, to the western side where you get all the stunning wildflowers, springs, creeks, and it is really spectacular. So what you're looking at right now is the section where we crossed over the top of the ranges, where it's predominantly pretty flat, but it's all sandy, it's all sort of spinifex grass, and there are quite a few sort of sand dunes as well. Sort of reminiscent of like a Gunbarrel Highway or a Canning Stock Route sort of feel. Well, we're making our way across the top of the Kennedys. We are probably halfway across, 2/3 of the way across. It's really remote. We can see some tyre tracks. We think a car might have gone through ahead of us in the last couple of days,
but yeah, we haven't seen anybody else. It's been super peaceful. There is a sign-in book here, so we'll check if anyone's been through recently. We're all written into the book on the 17th. Like I suspected, there were a few tyre tracks. The last few people came through on the 15th of September, so 2 days earlier. So, yep, there you go. What a peaceful, magical spot. Closed up, ready there for the next few people to find it, scribble a name in. Just next to the sign-in book, there's this metal plaque that we just come and had a look at. And there's like a stainless, oh, sorry, not a stainless, but there's a steel ring in the ground. And we've had a look at it. It says Kennedy Range number 1, TD, and it looks like 73 feet and 5 inches. So I'm gonna guess that's total depth, because Kennedy Range number 1 would be like the name of a well, either an oil well or a water well or something. And it looks like the date that they started digging it was the 1st of December 1966. Finished digging it on the 23rd of January 1967. So that is the height of summer that they were digging 73 feet. Pretty impressive, really. And it's cool that they've marked it here, because so often stuff like this gets lost. Anyway, let's jump in the car and head towards our lunch spot.
If you want to see all 200 plus images that we captured from this trip, make sure you jump on our Instagram at Great Off-Road Adventures and check them out.
Well, we've gotten to the information bay now on the western side of the Kennedy Ranges. Not at the bottom, but on like the sort of northwestern corner. So that pretty much signifies the end of the crossover track from the east to the west. Now we've seen this sign at all the entry points to the Kennedy Ranges, and it's pretty well laid out actually. Warning that you're entering a remote location with limited to no phone service. There's no fuel or service. It's only suitable for four-wheel drives and experienced four-wheel drivers.
Make sure you bring sufficient fuel, sufficient drinking water, inform someone of your travel plans, have a reliable and roadworthy four-wheel drive, carry spare tyres and spare vehicle parts, have a recent map, have a first aid kit, have a satellite phone or personal location device, slash beacon, and in the event of an emergency, call 000 or RFDS utilising that device. So yeah, pretty much lays out everything that you need. We are doing all of that. Now we don't have a sat phone, we've got a HF, but we can make phone calls to our HF. We can use it as a emergency beacon as well. My HF is hooked up to a GPS receiver, sits on the dash of my car. That's all logged, and so in the event of an emergency, I can call RFDS through my HF, or I can get the base operator to call RFDS or call for emergency assistance for me, and it's GPS logged, so they know exactly where I am. Anyway, that's where we're at. We'll work our way down the western side. It's 12:45, so we're going to try and sneak into one of the springs for a bit of a late lunch, get in the shade of the trees, and yeah, it's going to be a pretty relaxing afternoon now, I think. Hopefully get to camp relatively early, have an opportunity to catch up on a few chores that we need to get done. So let's get back on the road.
The wildflowers were still out in full force at the Kennedy Ranges. We had lots of lovely pinks and yellows and purples. It was quite amazing to see, especially them being out this far north. That was the amazing thing.
Well, we've arrived at Chaff Cutter Springs, and this is where we're going to stop for lunch. So just grabbing something out for Jess. There we go. A Ziploc bag so we can cut up a tomato for lunch. So one thing we've really found useful is having the kitchen and the fridge accessible on the camper just straight out the side without having to set anything up. We've been able to do lunch on the go with the trailer like this really easily. So yeah, that's been a win for us. Here's your Ziploc.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's just made stopping to have lunch, get drinks, having breaks and whatnot just so much simpler and easier. We can just pull the fridge out, use half the fridge as a table, especially like now when the kitchen's sort of in the sun as well. You don't want your food sitting in the sun, so we'll use the fridge as a table, or if the fridge is in the sun, the kitchen's normally in the shade, we use the kitchen as the table. So yeah, that's how we've been doing it. Cold meat, salad wraps. It's pretty much been our go-to lunch for a lot of this trip, and we've just changed up the sort of meat that we've had. It's a simple, easy lunch option for us, and it's healthy. So yeah, that's sort of our go-to. Jess being gluten-free, she has some gluten-free wraps, but she'll also sometimes just make a salad bowl.
They ran out of wraps at Woolworths, so I'm on rations.
Yeah, so I've got 3 packets of wraps. Jess has 2, so she's having to use a few less wraps. So in turn, she just makes a salad bowl. So there's an insight into our road trip lunches. Well, it took us an hour to get from Chaffcutter Springs to Mooka Creek, and Jess and I decided this is where we're going to camp. I'll spin you around and I'll show you why. Whew, what a spot, eh? How about that? Freshwater creek that you can swim in. There's a fairly deep bit over that side. Rocky cliff section at the back, and you can reverse the camper and up against the rocks on this side. Shade of the tree. Awesome. You know, I enjoyed my camp spot last night, but this is going to go a long way, and I think very close to beating it. So yeah, good spot. Put this in your mental map of good camp spots. Mooka Creek. So this could even go as far as, say, camp spot of the trip. Anyway, Jess is unhitching, so I'll go give her a hand quick. Well, camp is set up. Got here at 3 o'clock. So thrown the solar panel and blanket out just to put a bit more charge in. So we're putting in 10 amps at the moment, which is good. What I'm about to do is grab the laptop out, just offload all my memory cards. That's why I'm trying to give the trailer a bit extra power so that we can do that without drawing too much from the battery. And yeah, I think because this is our last night before going and resupplying on water and food and all that, I think Jess and I are both going to have a bit of a treat ourselves a bit of a freshwater shower, wash our hair, make ourselves look nice. Tomorrow we go back into Carnarvon again, resupply on all our food, fill up our water, grab all that stuff, and then we meet up with the crew going to Dirk Hartog. So yeah, it might pay to scrub ourselves up a bit. Everyone else we're meeting up with haven't been camping for a week. We have, so
Well, I take back my previous comment about this being campsite of the trip, and I reckon this might be campsite of the year, and even maybe one of my new favourite campsites in the whole of WA. The sand was like talcum powder soft. It was beautiful to walk on. It wasn't boggy though, and it was just so peaceful and lovely. So put Mooka Creek on your list of good camp spots, guys. I 100% recommend it. Well, that is a wrap on episode 4. I really hope you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Coming up in episode 5, we get over to Dirk Hartog Island and start our exploring of it. I can't wait to show you it. It was a really, really cool part of our trip. Anyway, so you know the deal, guys. Happy safe adventuring. Stay safe on the tracks and trails, and we'll see you in the next video.